Alright, I'll shoot straight. I never thought I'd be the guy wondering if his wife was up to no good. Thought we were solid. Not fairy tale perfect or nothing, but real. We laughed more than we argued, kept the fridge stocked with beer and leftovers, and we knew each other's favorite takeout orders by heart. Hell, she used to leave little notes in my lunch sometimes, things like, "Don't forget to stretch your back," or, "You better not be eating gas station hot dogs again." It was sweet. Comfortable. That was before she started her new job. Lisa's always been sharp, smart, organized, better at talking to people than I ever was. She'd been working part-time from home for a few years, doing freelance admin stuff, but one day she said she wanted something bigger. Said she was tired of wearing sweatpants and talking to cats all day. Fair enough. I backed her completely. I even helped her pick out a couple businessy outfits and cheered her on through the interview process. She landed this marketing job downtown, fancy place with one of those sleek websites that uses words like disrupt and synergy, but don't really tell you what they actually do. Her boss, Mark, is apparently a visionary. Real smooth talker, she said. Big into team building and late-night brainstorming sessions. Now, I ain't the jealous type. I'm really not. Lisa's attractive, sure, out of my league if you ask some of my buddies, but I never worried. We've been through stuff. Real stuff. I figured that meant something. But soon as she started that job, things started feeling different. First it was the hours. Her usual 9 to 5 turned into 9 to 7. Then 9 to whenever. I'd text her in the evening and wouldn't hear back for hours. She'd come home drained, said they were pushing hard on a new campaign. I'd ask what it was for, and she'd get real vague. Client confidentiality, she'd say, with this tight little smile like I wouldn't understand anyway. Then it was the phone habits. She started talking calls in the bathroom. At first I figured she just wanted quiet. Or maybe she was talking to her sister, who's going through a divorce and cries at the drop of a hat. But one night I walked in to grab a towel and she jumped like I'd caught her stealing. Phone flipped face down fast. Said it was a client with a delicate issue. I apologized, backed out. Didn't press it. But that tickled something in the back of my head. Next were the little lies. I ain't even sure she realized they were lies at first. Like one night she said she was stuck in traffic, but I saw her keys already on the counter when I got home. Said she had leftovers for lunch, but I found a takeout receipt from some trendy downtown place tucked under a stack of mail. She told me she was gonna work from home Friday, then left early to pick something up at the office, and didn't come back till dinner. Nothing huge. Nothing you'd go to war over. Just little cracks. I started keeping track quietly. Not like a psycho, just making mental notes. When she got in. What she said? When her stories didn't line up. There was always an explanation. Just enough truth to keep me second-guessing. Then there was Mark. Oh boy, did I start hearing a lot about Mark. He's a genius. He just gets me professionally. He says I've got real potential in the company. She brought him up more than she brought up our damn mortgage. Now I ain't the kind of guy who goes snooping around looking for trouble. But I ain't blind either. The way she smiled at her phone sometimes, not like something funny, but like something personal. Like a memory. She never used to smile like that unless I was the one texting her. And the intimacy? Don't get me started. It wasn't gone, but it was different. Less passion, more obligation. Like she was checking a box. Making sure I stayed quiet. I tried to bring it up once, real gentle. Just asked if she was feeling okay, if the job was stressing her out. She brushed it off. Said I was being paranoid, that she was just tired from all the demands. Then she said I should go out with the guys more. Get some space. That one landed weird. We've always been glued at the hip. Now she wants me out of the house. I ain't confronting her. Not yet. I don't have proof. All I've got is this gut feeling that something's going on. Not necessarily cheatin'. Could be emotional. Could be nothing. But my gut's usually right about busted pipes and crooked drywall. And lately it's saying something's leaking in my marriage. So I'm sitting tight for now. Watchin'. Waiting. Trying to figure out if I'm being a paranoid jackass or a husband with reason to worry. But I swear, if I find out I'm not just imagining this, there won't be a single piece of furniture in this house left unscratched. So after that slow simmer of little lies and weird behavior, I figured I'd start watching a bit closer, but not like a detective in a bad cop show. More like a guy sitting on a porch watching storm clouds roll in. You don't panic, you just make sure the tools are inside and the windows are shut, just in case. Lisa kept building her new career life, and I kept feeling like I'd been moved to the back of the shelf. She'd come home talking a mile a minute about brainstorm sessions, internal reviews, campaign strategy meetings, and of course, mark this, mark that. Now I ain't insecure. I know what I bring to the table. But the way she talked about him? Like he was some kind of prophet with a whiteboard. She'd laugh at his jokes, even the ones she was just telling me the week before. Told me he bought lunch for the whole team. Just because, said he, knows how to lead people. I half-joked one night, said, sounds like you're about to run off with the guy. She laughed, but not in the way I expected. It was tight. Forced. Then she said, don't be weird, Chuck, and went to bed early. Weird? I'm not the one getting wine drunk with my boss on a Tuesday. And yeah, that started happening too. Wine. Late nights. After-hours meetings. Company happy hours she never used to care about before. She'd roll in past 10 with a flushed face and an attitude like I was the one who left her hangin'. One time she came back with a fancy silk scarf I'd never seen before and acted like she'd had it for years. Girl can't keep a plant alive for a month but suddenly remembers buying accessories in 2018? Right. And the stories, man, they started getting slippery. Slippery like wet tile. She told me she was working late one Friday, so I drove by her office downtown after I wrapped up a drywall patch job nearby. I wasn't stalking, I swear. Just curious. And you know what? Place was dark. Lights off, lobby empty, not a single car in the employee lot except some poor intern's beat-up Honda. I came home, didn't say a word. She walked in an hour later with a bag from some new Thai place and said she grabbed dinner after work with the team. Said they had a group brainstorm about brand synergy, or some crap. I just nodded and said the food smelled good. She smiled, real proud of herself. I almost laughed. Thing is, I don't want to catch her doing something shady. I don't. I want to be wrong. I want this to be a bad movie in my head, not real life. But it's hard not to notice when your own wife flinches if you pick up her phone, or suddenly starts locking her laptop like she's working for the Pentagon. And here's the kicker, she started getting mean. Not all at once, just little digs. You wouldn't understand my job, she'd say. Or, maybe you should try being more ambitious. That one stung. I built my own damn business from nothing. I've been breaking my back for years to keep our bills paid, fix up this house, and give her the freedom to chase whatever dream she wanted. And now I'm not good enough? One night, I asked if she wanted to do something Saturday, maybe take a drive to the lake, like we used to. She barely looked up from her phone and said, can't. Mark wants me to help prep a presentation Sunday, so I need the weekend to myself. I said, since when do you work weekends? She just shrugged. It's part of the job. I sat there, watching her scroll through her screen, legs curled up on the couch like I wasn't even in the room, and I realized, I felt more like a roommate than a husband. Now, I ain't exactly the passive type. But I also ain't the type to start throwing accusations without something to back it up. If I go in guns blazing, and I'm wrong? That's the kind of damage you don't fix with flowers and an apology. So instead, I started setting the bait. I started suggesting things I knew she'd avoid. Want me to drop by your office for lunch? I was thinking I'd swing by and bring you and the team some coffee. That kind of stuff. Every time, every single time, she shut it down. Too busy. Too many meetings. Mark's weird about visitors. Today's not good. I offered to pick her up from work one day since I was nearby. She said she'd already ordered a rideshare. Funny thing though, I checked her location, we still had that shared tracking app for emergencies, and she didn't leave the building till nearly 40 minutes later. I told myself it was nothing. But I didn't believe it. Things at home got colder, too. Sex dropped off to maybe once every couple weeks. When it did happen, it felt more like maintenance than love. Like she was just keeping me from asking questions. She stopped kissing me on the way out the door. She even stopped wearing her wedding ring some days, said it got in the way of typing. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but that felt like a hell of a red flag. I told my buddy Ricky about it over beers one night. He said, "Chuck, you sure she ain't pulling a double life on you?" I told him to shut up and pass me another bottle. But the truth is, I was thinking the same damn thing. It was like living with a stranger who still used your shower and your Netflix account. And the worst part? Somewhere deep down, I missed her. I missed the way she used to laugh when I messed up the pancake recipe. I missed Sunday mornings with her feet on my lap and coffee breath kisses. I miss my wife. But the woman in this house? She wasn't that anymore. Something was off. And it was getting harder and harder to pretend it wasn't. I just didn't know how deep the rabbit hole went. I told y'all I wasn't gonna accuse Lisa of anything unless I had the whole damn picture, and brother, I got the whole damn picture, alright. What I thought was a slow slide into a cold marriage turned out to be more like me sitting on a landmine, waiting for the boom. So remember all them weird little lies? The work weekends, the secretive phone stuff, the too tired to talk nonsense? I let it ride, kept my mouth shut, and waited. It was killing me inside, don't get me wrong, but I needed the truth straight up. No more guessing, no more gut feeling. Just facts. Well, I got my facts. All in one glorious, piss-you-off kind of afternoon. I was at home one Friday, supposed to be on a job, but it got rained out. Lisa didn't know I was there. She left that morning in her usual rush, heels clicking, coffee in one hand, purse in the other, barely even tossed a by over her shoulder. I watched her pull out of the driveway, same as always, and I noticed something strange. She wasn't dressed for a meeting. I mean, she looked good, too good. Like, bar on a Saturday night good. Tight skirt, full makeup, even perfume. I knew that perfume. She only broke it out for fancy dinners or anniversaries. So, my curiosity got the best of me. I waited 10 minutes, then got in my truck and started driving. Didn't even know where I was going, just had that fire in my chest and a voice in my head saying, "Chuck, now's the time." And wouldn't you know it, I found her car. Parked 2 blocks down from the office. Only thing is, she wasn't at the office. She was coming out of a boutique hotel. With Mark. I don't know what hurt more, seeing them walking out Logan like they just left a spa, or the fact that she looked at him the way she used to look at me. Arm hooked through his. No shame. Like this was just a regular part of her routine. They didn't see me. I stayed parked across the street, watching through the windshield with my hands gripping the wheel so tight my knuckles turned white. I didn't take a photo. Didn't honk. Didn't cause a scene. I just watched. Took it all in. That was my moment, the boom. The landmine finally went off. I went home. Didn't say a word. She came in later, told me she'd been locked in meetings all day. I just said, "Sounds exhausting." She smiled, kissed me on the cheek, and went to take a shower. And that's when I knew what I had to do. So, revenge? Yeah, I served it cold. I called her boss, the real one. Not Mark, who's technically a VP or something. I asked if they had a formal policy on interoffice relationships. Real polite, real professional. He was confused at first, but I told him I had reason to believe Mark was in a personal relationship with a subordinate, and it was affecting their work. Turns out, Mark had a wife. 2 kids. Whole white picket fence life outside the office. Guess Mark forgot to mention that to Lisa while he was making espresso in his robe at the Hilton. I didn't even have to show proof. Corporate sniffed it out quick once I gave them a direction. I knew she'd used the company card at that hotel, she slipped once, said. I forgot to expense lunch. And I remembered the name of the place. That was all they needed. Mark? Fired. Like cleaned out his office that day, fired. Lisa? Suspended pending internal review. She didn't even see it comin'. Came home that night pale as a ghost, tossin' around words like unfair, and politics, and misunderstanding. I just sat there on the couch, watchin' the game, drinkin' a beer. You okay? She finally asked me. I said, You tell me. She froze. Then, What do you mean? I turned to her, looked her dead in the eye and said, I saw you, Lisa. You and Mark. At the hotel. I know everything. Silence. Not even the hum of the fridge could fill it. She blinked, swallowed hard, and then, get this, she tried to cry. Said it was complicated, said she. Felt lonely. That I was emotionally unavailable. I laughed. I straight up laughed in her face. That kind of hollow, tired laugh that comes from a man who's spent the last few months wondering if he's losing his mind. I said, You could have talked to me. You could have left. Hell, you could have just been honest. She sat down and said, I didn't want to hurt you. I said, Sweetheart, you didn't just hurt me, you burned the whole damn house down. What happened next? We're separated now. She moved in with her sister to think things through. Says she's reevaluating her choices. I'm redoing the kitchen. Took down every photo of us. Burned the anniversary cards. Sold the necklace I gave her and used the cash to buy a new tool chest. Emotional? Nah. Just practical. Divorce papers are ready. I'm giving her one last chance to come clean, just so she can say it out loud. So I can hear her admit it. But even if she doesn't, I'm done. What I learned? Trust your gut. You don't need hard proof to know when something's off. When the person next to you starts feeling like a stranger, chances are, they already are. And if your wife suddenly starts wearing perfume to work and working weekends with a visionary named Mark? Brother, buy yourself a bottle of bourbon and start talking notes.